Well, joining us now is Ryan Anderson, president of the Ethics and Public Policy Center. He is also the author of When Harry Became Sally, Responding to the Transgender Moment. Ryan, welcome back. Great to have you on. Also, congratulations on your new position. We have a lot to get to, including the news of your book that we just mentioned, now banned on Amazon. But first, I want to get your take on Xavier Becerra and the hearings that took place today.
Sure. I mean, I think he's the wrong person for the job. He has no medical background, and we're in the middle of a pandemic. Not every secretary of HHS needs to be a medical doctor or needs to be an expert in epidemiology. But when you're in the middle of a pandemic, you might want to see some medical credentials besides going after David Daleiden, going after the people who exposed Planned Parenthood, going after the Little Sisters of the Poor. It seems that his biggest qualification here is that he likes to go after pro-lifers and he likes to attack conscience protections for pro-life doctors.
Ryan, what do you think is the most concerning aspect of his appointment?
Oh, wow. How much time do we have? Are we here all night or just a joke? I mean, I think the reality here is that while the previous administration, President Trump was in office, they had to penalize the state of California $200 million in Medicaid funds because Xavier Becerra was forcing Catholic nuns to cover abortion. Right? I mean, that's how radical this is, that the state lost. They were penalized by the Trump administration, $200 million in Medicaid funding because they wouldn't give up their abortion extremism. And the attorney general who was behind this was Becerra.
Now, do you think he'll be confirmed? And if so, what implications do you think that will have?
It's too soon to tell, actually, because, it's a 50-50 divided Senate, which means if one Democrat was to oppose him and all of the Republicans were to oppose him, that would tank the nomination. We've already seen that Senator Joe Manchin, a Democrat from West Virginia, has announced that he won't be supporting one of the other Biden nominees, the nominee for OMB. So if he was to cross the aisle on this nominee, I think that would be the end of it. And so a lot's going to depend. Manchin says he's pro-life. Becerra would be very, very harmful for the pro-life cause.
Well, before we wrap up, I want to go back to, as we mentioned this earlier, your book is no longer available on Amazon. Tell us more about that and what you plan to do, if anything, to get the retail giant to reverse that decision. I know you have a lot of support, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, so we don't know why they removed it. Sometime Sunday afternoon, it came to my attention that the book was no longer listed at Amazon. And it's not that they were out of stock. I mean, they took down the page for the hardback, for the paperback, for the Kindle edition, for the Audible edition, and for used books. They just disappeared, the book. No contact or explanation for why. And, I reached out, the publisher reached out, and we still can't get an explanation. And it's 2 days later. The timing of this is suspicious since tomorrow the House of Representatives is going to be voting on the so-called Equality Act, which is a radical gender ideology bill. Who knows why they did it now? The book came out 3 years ago, but it's been great for sales, just not at Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, I know a lot of people, especially on Twitter, are talking about this in support of you. So keep us posted. We'd like to talk to you again about that and see what happens. Ryan Anderson, president of the Ethics and Public Policy Center and author of When Harry Became Sally, Responding to the Transgender Moment. Thanks again, Ryan.
Thank you.